creates your life. So drop in the chat as we get started today. Drop in the chat if you were here yesterday. Just write day 1 if you were here yesterday, and if you weren't here yesterday, write no. Just drop a no down. So I just want to see if there's any new people coming in. Lynn, I see you. Jackie, Melinda, and Lynn, you can go into the Facebook group, Kiss Your Struggles Goodbye, and you can catch day 1's replay there. Okay? I want to acknowledge the people that I saw do homework. It doesn't mean there wasn't more of you. I was only on Facebook early this morning today, and then I had a full day, and then I'm going to check afterwards. But I saw Catherine's come in, her empowerment stance with her kitty cats. I believe I saw Ashley come in with her IMs. Was that you, Ashley? Yes? Okay. And Chanita, am I saying your name right? I saw your creativity. How fun was that? That was incredible. Sherry A, I think I saw you post something. Was it from you? Did you post something? No? No? Okay. Maybe it was somebody else. So those are the 3 I saw. It doesn't mean that there wasn't more. I get to go look after class today, and I will look because it's important for me to see that. So welcome to day 2. As we're getting started, I would love for you just to drop in as you worked on some of those things from yesterday. If you were here, if you didn't, that's okay. But if you worked on some of the things from yesterday, some of the exercises, I would love just for you to drop in the chat, like, what did you notice for yourself? What came up for you? You can still send the homework, Belinda. You can still go right to the Facebook group and post a picture of you doing whatever chakra thing that you worked on yesterday and also today. So how do I send? Oh, you post it in the Facebook group. If you need support, send a message to team@BrendaKISS.com, and my assistant will support you in getting that up. Yes, what came up for you? What did you notice? Maybe some of the feelings that came up, and then what came up after doing the exercise? Just curious as to what it was like for you. It was very hard for me to say no to anyone. So what came up? What did you notice besides hard, Jackie? What are the stories you started to tell yourself? What would happen if you did say no? You felt more positive today, Ashley? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. So noticing these things as they're coming up is a way for you to start to also tune in to process. And today, my phone is still playing It's My Life. Today you get to, we're going to work on moving through some emotions, right? You were in a better mood today. Incredible. After doing the empowerment stance, you felt empowered. Awesome. I noticed you did that last night, Catherine. Did you do it again today by any chance? Yes. Awesome. I can't do this. I'm trying. That's what came up for you, Meta? So I always say trying is lying. You either are doing it or you aren't. So you get to decide. You get to allow yourself to do one of the processes. And today might help, right? So today might help you get over the stories that are keeping you stuck. I'm a people pleaser, and I don't like people thinking or acting negatively towards me if I say no. What would it mean if you did say no and someone acted negatively towards you? Right? You're attaching a meaning to it. And so you get to look at what's the meaning. So if someone says, if you say no as a boundary for yourself and someone acts negatively, one, that's your interpretation of what they're doing, and two, the feeling that comes up within is what you get to really look at, anxiety. And we're going to leave it at that because when we go through today's process, we're going to get under anxiety. Anxiety is actually a buildup of emotion that's not processed. It's a buildup of unprocessed emotion. So we will dive into that today, Jackie, okay? So let's get started. Oh, let me read Chanita's, because that was, am I saying your name right? Chanita?
Yeah, I have like 5 pronunciations.
Okay. Um, she said, I liked my first video, shared it with friends before posting who recommended I add something, then started slipping into perfectionism. Thankfully decided to go with the first to stay in place of fun and got positive feedback from all who watch. Incredible. Yes. And today we're also going to talk about breaking patterns, because everything we do is a pattern. So if we want to create something new in our life, create different things, can we stay in the same pattern that you're currently in? Right? So be really super proud for anybody that stepped outside their box, and we're going to continue with this box thinking today. But and then also, Chanita, what I'm seeing here is that you even stepped out of the pattern in the moment. So that's a beautiful thing, right? You recognized it and you said, nope, I'm going to do it anyway. So congrats. Congrats. So those with their cameras off, I'll just encourage you to put your camera on. You know, I spoke a little bit yesterday, and this is obviously your choice and totally up to you. But one of the great things about being in a room like this is being accountable and being held accountable by being visible. And it gives you the opportunity to fully engage with yourself and with the women here. So if you have the courage to turn your camera on and you're ready to turn your camera on, I encourage you to turn it on. It will make a difference in your experience here today. Okay, so day 2. I just want to say that today is the last day that you could, actually it's probably not true, it probably goes through the whole thing, but if you want to do the VIP bundle, I encourage you to go do it. It was a great session after our main session yesterday. So go ahead and grab it. And the only way I know how to do it is to re-register and see it on the thank you page. That's the only way I know how to tell you to get there. So, but today is day 2 of Unlock Your Manifestation Magic, and we're going to be talking about your emotions. What are your emotions really telling you? And for some, emotions are fun and exciting and joyful, but emotions are energy in motion. And for some others who haven't processed emotions, who haven't talked or touched in or even became aware of their emotions, it can be scary. So I invite you today, you can use the journal if you have the journal, but I invite you today to have 2 pieces of paper that you can write on, 2 like separate pieces of paper. You only need 1 at a time, but we're going to go through this process, and it will be good to have 2 papers. There is going to be an opportunity for you to release 1 paper. So if you're writing in a nice journal and you don't like to rip it out, I would suggest grabbing real quick, go grab another piece of paper, so that you don't have to rip out of your journal. I know some people are really particular and have a lot of rules around their journals and what it needs to look like and be like. So just want to give you that opportunity. You don't want to write what we're going to do on the first sheet in a paper that you're going to keep. Okay? Well, I'm assuming, but you'll get to decide. So I really thought yesterday was amazing. I loved the engagement, the playing full out, fully being present, putting yourself out there. I love seeing those that put their homework in. I will announce the winners on Friday, by the way. So you have till Friday to keep adding to your entries by the homework. You can make a separate entry, and there is prize posts every day. So you can go in there and put it in the, make a comment in the prize post and put it there. So incredible day, and I want to make sure you guys, I put up in the Facebook group, how do they find it? There's a resource around the chakras for you, like ways to balance them, like a free resource that I want to give you, ways to balance them with different tools, how to know they're out of alignment. So I know that we did the talk yesterday, but this is just a simple little chart that you can review and you can print it out. It's a PDF in the Facebook group. So if you want the chart, you get to go into the Facebook group. If you're not in Facebook, I'm sorry, that's the only place that it's hosted. But it's under like files or media. section of the group, something like that. So go grab your free resource. Not right now, stay with me. Today is what I call a breakthrough day. Today is a day to release some stored up emotions that you've been holding up onto. I believe I talked a little bit about yesterday about how if we want something new, we get to reach out, we get to open up, we get to be here. But if our energy is tied up to giving to something else, like anger, frustration, overwhelm, depressed, perfectionism, whatever that is, can we reach out if our hands are holding on to something else? We can't. We have to break the pattern. We have to release the energy from holding on, the job of that energy, that part of us, release it so that it can redirect to a new energy that you want to create. So stay to the end. Today is a powerful healing process. I'm going to take you through a start to finish. So if you cannot stay the entirety, you might want to come back and watch the replay once we start the process. And the reason I say that is because I'm going to bring you into the deep layers of like some subconscious work, and I don't want you to get stuck in that awareness without the breakthrough. Does that make sense? Like, I want you to go through the whole process. I don't want you to get stuck into the part of discovering what we need to release and then not stay for the release. Make sense? So stay to the end so that you can have the breakthrough that I know many women have when they show up here. So remember, the fastest way to healing is what? To reconnect with yourself, your heart, so that you can manifest wonderful things in your life. And you'll have an opportunity to work on that today, to work on reconnecting with yourself without having to talk about your problems. Anybody go to places and you got to relive the whole experience? You got to talk through all of the problems. Well, today we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to find the emotion, find what it's attached to, and release. Right? So I remember one of the women I worked with, actually right before COVID. Her name is Sheila, and she was so good at hiding her emotions, her true emotions. She showed up happy and excited for everybody, supportive and really strong, like totally, held her family together. And what was happening was she was so nervous about expressing her true self, the emotions, and that she was nervous that she was going to have to talk about her problems in front of people and all of that. And here's the truth. In the work that we do here, we just get to identify I'll say the root of where the problem comes from without reliving and talking. And once Sheila decided to work on herself, she was able to release so many emotions that she was able to have fun, dance, let her hair down, and have a good time. She even got a promotion that she didn't want to go for because she was, hiding who she was. So after doing all this work, she stepped out and got a promotion within, I say, 3 to 4 months after starting, where she wouldn't even have put in for the interview prior to doing this work. Judy came to me completely lost, taking care of others, isolating herself, and didn't know where to go. She had tried therapy, EMDR, community. She actually was a nun for some time, and she really was looking for answers, right? Looking for a way to find that happiness and joy to create, I'll say, the level of fun that she is right now in her life. She was retired when I met her. She's still retired, and she really has opened up to manifesting a dog, an apartment, a car, a bike, all these things that she had dreamed of but never really knew how she was going to get to them. So today I'm going to ask you to drop in the chat to recommit to playing full out, to really let yourself go where I'm going to take you today. I told you my mission yesterday was to help you have a breakthrough, to put you on a path of manifesting great things. And today is the opportunity to do that. But you get to recommit. You get to right now drop in your why, put your why in your chat, and as you do that, recommit to playing full out and engaging and showing up 100%. No more bystanders, nobody just sitting and watching. Nothing, action plus knowledge equals transformation. Just learning alone doesn't do anything. It doesn't give you the opportunity to transform. Yes, I see all the people with their yeses. Yes. So Playful out, because there's nothing more than I want for you to transform your life and create something wonderful. So my name's Brenda BKISS, for those that are just joining today, and I help women reduce anxiety, overwhelm, self-doubt, to create a life of happiness, to manifest your wildest dreams by reconnecting you back to your heart, healing the past, and living in the abundant life that there is for you available. So as we get started, remember, stepping outside of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. It's where transformation happens. And so you get to do things different. You know, the definition of insanity is what? Anybody know what the definition of insanity is? Let's see, my chat is cut off.
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. Doing the same thing over and over again and doing different results. So to get a different result, you get to do something differently. So I'm going to go through what I call my levels of awareness of where you get to be. And so the process of this is to get you to identify and then decide if you're willing to do a different step, take a different step, do something different to get different results. And I remember when I was looking to change my life, and I just knew that if I continued on the same path of self-destruction, which was eating my life away, hiding in the closet, binge eating, that I was going to not be there for my kids. And so I wanted different results. So I did things that I reached out for help. I would have never done that. I committed to a program that I was terrified of doing. And all of that was because I knew to get different results, I had to do things differently. So let's do what I call just think about where you are in this, I'll say, ladder to, manifestation, ladder to your goddess within. And look at where you are. And I want to say, without judgment, just to observe. There's no reason to judge here, but just observe where you are and decide if you want something different. Every change in life comes down to making a decision. Anybody know what the definition of decision is? It's the cutoff to all other possibilities. You're totally decided, you're totally committed to one thing, and you're going to do it. Right? You think of a kid learning how to ride a bike. They decided they're going to learn how to ride a bike. No matter how many times they fall down, what happens? They get up and they ride the bike because they decided they're going to ride the bike. Or even when children learn to walk or crawl, they decide that that's what they're going to do. They don't care how many times they fall down. They stay committed to what they want. Right? Look at. I have a friend of mine right now. She's training for a marathon, and she was doing a half marathon, I believe, in the spring. And she had her thighs started to rub together during the run. I think she was like, a marathon is 26.1 miles, I think, something very close to that, 26.2. She was doing 13, I think. And, so around mile 10, her thighs had been running together and they started to bleed so much that someone actually ran up to her and said, I think you got your period, right? Her thighs were rubbing together. They chafed. She completely wore the skin off the inner of her thighs. Do you think she was committed? She finished that race. And she still she made a decision. Nothing was going to stop her. Even if she had to stop, she would have kept going. So now she's, I think, I can't remember what her post said in what month in this fall that she was running her marathon. So a decision is to put things to no end. So decide where you are, look where you are, and then make a decision to rise up. Because no matter where you are, there's always room for growth. Everybody agree with that? But you can't change until you know where you're at. We talked about that yesterday. So the first, I'll say, ring on the ladder of the women that I've worked with that I see is they live in the victim story. She's the victim, living in blame, living in guilt, everything happens to you. The life is ending. Something happens and all of a sudden the world is coming to an end, right? Everything comes down to, everybody's out there trying to hurt you, and, there's nothing you can do. The victim believes that they have no choice. They believe that they don't have a choice to make a difference. They're making everybody else the ruler of their life. Their inner power has been put to sleep. So drop down victim if you're in the victim role. And so the next ring up the ladder, and the thing is to continue to climb the ladder, right? The next ring up the ladder is what I call the self-healer. The self-healer is ready to take care of yourself. You know that there's a better way. You may not realize how to get there or what to do to get there, but you are totally ready to make a change in your life. And you're not going to let anyone or anything stand in your way. So you may not have the tools to make the change, but you are committed to finding them. You're committed to taking care of you. You're ready to make that step. That's the self-healer. Write down self-healer if that's you. The next ring up the ladder is the healer. The healer has invested in herself. She not only has invested in herself, she's learned the tools, she's making change, she's beginning to share her gifts with the world. And I don't necessarily mean in a business or anything like that. What I mean is sharing your gift in the world as like kind words, loving hearts, energy healing, prayers for others, but coming from a place of wholeness, from a place of feeling whole inside. Then you have the inspired leader, and the inspired leader is out there on a mission to help others, help others to live, a beautiful life. And that can go through their work, that could go through nonprofits, that could be it doesn't mean, a leader just means that you own your belief, you own that there's possibilities in the life, and you are here to help others see that. Make sense? So you just don't know that, but you're here to help others know that. And then the last ring, the top ring on the ladder, is the goddess, right? The goddess is confident, powerful, strong. Think of any goddess you know. She knows what she wants. She stands in her power. She's connected to her higher self. She receives and gives with ease and flow, and she manifests whatever she wants in her life because she knows her worth. And she knows she's worth she knows she's worthy just by being her, meaning she doesn't have to do anything to feel worthy. She just feels worthy because she's living. And she creates her life from that energy. So drop down, where are you and where do you want to be? Oh, I love that, Sherry. Pushing yourself to the second run. Denise, inspired leader, beautiful. Transitioning into inspired leader, awesome, awesome. Inspired leader, love it. Healer, beautiful. Yeah. So here's what you get to do. We're going to look at what are the things, the thoughts, and the feelings that are that you get to release to go up the ladder, right? To go up the ladder. But you get to decide. So right in the chat right now, I decide to, I want to say playful out and to release stored up emotions. Yes, Monique, I love that. Awesome, Catherine. I decide to play full out and release up stored emotions. Yes, I love it. And decision means there's no other choice today. So whatever we do is what you're doing. You can make it short if you don't like to type. Just I decide. Make the decision. Play full out. Give yourself permission to go there today. Give yourself permission to do whatever we're about to do. Not knowing what we're about to do is scary, huh? I say that for all my planners out there, all the people that need certainty in their life. You're like, well, I want to commit, but I need more details before I make a commitment. Right? So, all right. So on your first piece of paper, You're going to draw a box. I think I showed you the box yesterday. Actually, I don't even remember if I did that in the what class I did that in. Was that in the first class or the VIP class? You're going to draw a box on your paper. And outside of the paper is the magic feeling. So on the outside of the box, you're going to put your magic feelings. The magic feeling we talked about, the feelings you want more of in your life if you weren't here yesterday. The things that you want more of in your life if you were not here yesterday. Okay. In the inside of the box, you're going to put down, and we're going to start now, and we're going to keep digging in. So you're going to keep adding to this, right? In the inside of the box, I want you to put down feelings, emotions, and stories that are blocking you from having your magic feeling. So maybe that's frustration or anger or guilt or I'm not enough or whatever other thoughts come to you. Just take a moment and write that out, whatever that is, because we're going to do work to continue to dig in, right? And I know this might feel uncomfortable and resistance might be coming in, but remember your why. You didn't show up at my mini course this week to leave in the same energy that you started. Remember, on the other side of uncomfortableness is freedom. Freedom of hurt, regret, anxiety, negative thinking, doubt, shame, guilt, you name it. So as you're writing, continue to write any feelings, any emotions. And know, whatever is inside this box is what's driving your attraction factor. Your emotions are your attractive factor. So whatever's on the inside of this box right now is what you're calling into your life. So if you're around scarcity, like not enough money, not enough time, don't know how to make a decision, whatever that is, that you're pulling that into your life, whatever you're writing down on the inside of this box. And when you make decisions from these thought processes, you will get more stuff inside the box. We have to get outside the box into the magic feelings to make decisions. Most people think, well, if I just had more money, I'd be happy. If I just had more time, I'd be happy. You get to create that feeling first. Because if you're creating money out of scarcity and you're creating time or relationships out of lack, you're just going to create more of that. Everybody have some things in their box? Okay. So your emotions are your driving force behind your actions. Emotions are energy emotions, and everything in the world is energy. Everything has energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can, however, be reprogrammed. What you're feeling in your subconscious and in your body, what your body is holding on to, is what you are attracting in your life. Your beliefs, your feelings, and your stories that are locked in your mind, your subconscious mind, or in your body is what you're attracting. So here's the tricky part when it comes to emotions. Emotions don't feel great. Negative stories don't feel great. So guess what the ego does? And I don't mean egotistical. I mean the ego that protects us, right? The ego that keeps us alive. Well, it doesn't want us to be in pain. So anything that causes you discomfort, the ego will tell you to bury it, to forget about it, to just leave it alone. The ego doesn't want you to feel pain, doesn't want you to feel suffering or hurt, so it will literally cover things up, burying your feelings, burying your emotions, and creating beliefs and stories that seem like truths. I want to tell you this, your beliefs and stories come true from believing in them. If you believed in something else, you would have different truths. But the ego covers these things up. And so you stay in the stories and it keeps you in your box. your safe zone, your box. Even if living inside your box feels uncomfortable, but you're so used to it, you'll stay in there. Because the ego doesn't know if there's pain or suffering on the outside of the box. And that could potentially be more painful, more uncomfortable, more hurt on the outside of the box. So the ego will say, let's just stay here. And what I've noticed, the problem is when so many people are looking for help, they work with coaches or they do things on their own, and they do three things that I find challenging. One is they put ice cream on top of, well, let me ask you this. If you have an ice cream cone, right? If you've been to my talk, you know what I'm about to say. If you have an ice cream cone, and in the cone, you know how the ice cream never goes fully into the cone, right? You just get a scoop on top of the ice cream cone. So think of the ice cream cone and think of all the shit that you haven't worked through is packed into the cone. And now put your favorite flavor ice cream on top. Mine happens to be cookie dough. Chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream is my favorite, right? When I go to eat the chocolate chip cookie dough, is that going to taste like shit? Is it going to smell like shit? Yeah. So no matter how much goodness that you put on, if you don't clear out the crap or the shit in your life, guess what happens? The good stuff still smells like shit. So most people think, just think positively, just do this, just do, say affirmations. I believe in affirmations. You have to embody affirmations, and you have to get rid of the old programming to make affirmations super, super powerful. And affirmations are super powerful as you are releasing old things. But they don't work if you're just trying to mask up feelings. The other thing I see is in a lot in the spiritual circles is we'll just do what's called a spiritual bypass. We'll just ignore the low frequency energies and pretend they're not a part of us. And just try to feel happy, like pretend to be happy. You ever hear fake it till you make it? Vibrations don't work that way. Your body knows you're faking it. The universe knows you're faking. You actually get to embody the feelings, good, bad, or the ugly. Embody them to release them or to enhance them, depending on which feelings we're working with here. And the other problem is I see people numb out their feelings with food, drugs, alcohol, other people's problems. And here's a big one: staying busy. You're so busy taking care of others, working, finding things to do. That is a coping mechanism to not feel. If you feel like your life is busy and it's uncomfortably busy, then you get to look at what are you avoiding? What are you avoiding? So the initial emotions, so the emotions you put in that box might not be the true emotions that are in the subconscious. I call them, most likely, they're what I call surface level emotions. And what you get to do is look at the deeper emotions. So what do I mean by that? So I used to live in 3 top emotions. And tell me if you can relate to any of them. I used to live in frustration, overwhelmed, anger. I want to say stress too, even though that's 4. I said top 3, but those were like, everyone had like their go-to movie. Those were my go-to emotions. That's where I lived. And I lived in that emotion for so long. But I will tell you what caused me those emotions most was my body. I was never satisfied with my body. So I thought that my body was making me angry. My body was making me frustrated. My body was making me mad. And that was caused a lot of problems. So if I look at those 3 feelings, these were on the surface. It really wasn't that I needed to release anger or frustration or stress. Those were symptoms of the root problem. And the root problem I couldn't get to was covered up by, my eating disorder. So I had to dig in till I could get to that true feeling. And so like anger, overwhelm, frustration, stress are usually covers up for these feelings. So you can tell me if any of these relate to you, but if not, when we go into this closed eye process in a minute, You'll find out. But anger usually covers up sadness, hurt, guilt, resentment, shame. And if you are holding on to that, there is no way to bring in love, peace, abundance, contentment, excitement, joy, what some of the things you guys were saying yesterday in the call, right? So it's digging in deeper, finding the stories, the feelings that are the root cause. And when I went through this process that we're going to go today, I realized that it wasn't that. I was terrified of being comfortable, of being skinny, of feeling pretty, because my uncle who molested me used to say, "You're the pretty one. You're the girly one. You're the one that is fun and flirtatious." So that is my true essence. That's the girl that I used to be before I was molested. And I covered all that up. And so the emotion that I was covering up was feeling scared. And I thought it was anger, frustration, overwhelmed, stress. But what happened was the ego was protecting me, put weight on me so I didn't have to feel these emotions. It created the other emotions that I just shared with you. It created stories and beliefs from those emotions. So if I was scared to be pretty and put myself out there, I was scared to be seen. I was scared to be noticed. I couldn't get a good job out of out of college. I mean, I graduated with like a 3.8 from college, and I still felt insecure because I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want to be noticed. Right? When we have emotions that aren't processed, we get what's called emotion stacking, energy stacking. So if we have something happens in our life and we don't process, it's here. And then something else happens, it's here. It makes us angry, shameful, guilt. And then we get older and somebody else puts that same feeling. And then we get into our teenage years, our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, and beyond. And we think that the people around us are causing us that feeling. The truth is, when we have energy that is stacked within us and we don't process it, we get triggered easily. And someone at the grocery store can say something, and all of a sudden there's a riot. Look at road rage. If people weren't energy stacking, emotionally, like have all these emotions stacked within them, there wouldn't be road rage. There wouldn't be this need to be yelling and hurting each other if there wasn't so much hurt already within you, right? When we have our energy tied up in these emotions, they literally take up residency in your body. They literally take up residency, causing you to become stiff, causing you to become ill, dis-ease, uncomfortable, weight gain, lack of energy. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to take a moment and we're going to look at what's really underneath. So close your eyes for a minute. Okay, take a nice deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. One more deep breath together. And out. And just for this moment, allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Allow yourself to feel into this. Allow yourself to notice what comes up. And give yourself permission to go deeper into the subconscious mind than you've ever have before. Knowing that you are safe. Knowing that this is a way to release. And if you allowed yourself right now to discover what's the deepest emotion that's keeping you from your magic feeling, What is it? Just take notice in your mind, keeping your eyes closed. What is the deepest emotion blocking you from your magic feeling? What is your deepest emotion blocking you from your magic feeling? What is your deepest emotion blocking you from your magic feeling? What is your deepest emotion blocking you from your magic feeling? And then just take a moment and write down the things that came up for you in your box. If they were different, if there were some of the same, you can add again. What came up for you? And drop it inside the box. So now realize that you created a coping mechanism to not feel this. For me, it was food, alcohol at times, other people's problems, staying busy, complaining, living the victim role. I can't keep my house clean. Oh my God, you don't know what it's like to be a mom of 3 boys under the age of 5. I had a story for every reason to keep me in that victim mode. You know what it's like, Lynn. So what is the coping mechanism that you're using? We want to identify this, because what we're going to do is we're going to release it today, this emotion, but we're going to give you a tool to use for when you want to use your coping mechanism, because you're living in a pattern. How many years have you been living this pattern? Drop it in the chat. How many years have you been living in this pattern? I did about 30. 30, 50, too long. 20. Those that are not answering, I invite you to answer. Get yourself associated with it. Don't disassociate. 40, 40, 40. Since I was a child. 30. Yeah. So even though we release today, do you think your body has muscle memory? Do you think that old pattern is there? And it's going to want to what? The ego is going to want to what? Put you back in here. So you get to identify the pattern that you take. Because what we're going to do is we're going to release it today, but you get to build the muscle of interrupting that pattern. And I'm going to give you a tool to use. It's going to be fun, I promise you. I know this is the heavy part of today. Okay? So what is your belly really hurts, so you're holding it all in your belly. We're going to release it. But I just want you to identify. Yeah, I'm very hot right now as well. I want you to identify what is your coping mechanism. Drop it in so I know you have it. What's your coping mechanism? Is it spending? Let me just buy this, I'll feel better. Is it a glass of wine every night to relax? Maybe marijuana, that's a big one. Right? What is your coping mechanism? Maybe it's learning. I'll just learn this. Let me just learn this. Spending, food, isolating. Yes, people pleasing. Being busy. Indifference. And what do you do when you're indifference, Belinda? Spending, obsessing, reliving. So you ruminate in your head, Jackie, is what I'm hearing, right? Just keep reliving and ruminating in your head. I'll learn one more thing first. Yeah, you get stuck in learning, thinking that if you learn this, that your life will be better. Act as if nothing matters. So that, yeah, you just tuck it down. How do you act as if? What do you do to act as if? For me, I had to eat. I had to, or maybe binge watch TV as well. Like just pretend nothing's going on. Okay. Continue to self-harm. Yeah. So that's your pattern. That's what you got to identify. Thank you for being vulnerable, Belinda. Use humor. Oh yeah, that's a big one. Make a joke about everything, right? Everything's funny. Get sleep. Yeah, sleep could be another one. Avoidance. Sleep and avoidance kind of go hand in hand to me. Or even isolation, right? Because you isolate yourself. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Who's ready to break the box? Because I am done staying in here, right? Like this isn't fun. I'm literally sweating under not under, on my lips. Okay, so we're going to break the box and then create what I call a pattern interrupt for you. And new feelings. Okay, so wherever you are, you're going to feel into what you're feeling. So close your eyes. And just take a nice cleansing deep breath. Imagining what I'm about to go through with you allows you to release these emotions now. And you'll be surprised as you just breathe in and out how easy it is for you to let go. Easier than you've ever thought before. One more breath in. And out. And as you think of these emotions that your body is holding on to, this is what you've been attracting in your life. And as you think of the pain or the suffering or the hurt or the discomfort that it's causing you, notice where you feel it in your body. Notice the thoughts that are coming up from it. Maybe there's images from your past that created this. And just for a moment, feel the sensation of it. Notice if it's big or small, if it's heavy or light, if it moves in one direction or another or stays still. Notice if you feel it in multiple areas of your body. Notice the sounds it makes, these emotions. And as you allow yourself to know and feel them, give yourself permission to go through and release with ease. Be open and allowing now. So imagine right next to you is what I call a magical vacuum. And this magical vacuum has the power to pull out all negative experiences. And there's a button that you get to push because you still get to decide whether you're ready to release these or now. And so the button you get to push is release with ease and grace, quickly and effortlessly. So before you push the button, if you haven't pushed it already, just take the vacuum. It's a vacuum with a hose, so you get to attach it to the part of your body that's holding on to the emotions. And as you allow yourself to attach it just right now, go ahead and push the button. And as you push the button, something magical happens. Something happens quicker and easier than you ever thought. All of a sudden it begins to shift. The energy begins to be moving out through the vacuum, and the vacuum can grow as big as it needs to hold all of the shit. So allow the vacuum to do its job with ease and grace, knowing that you are in control, and if you need to slow it down, you can. If you need to speed it up, you can. Knowing that you have the ability to release this now. You made a decision earlier to release, and you decided, so now is the time to let it go. Now is the time to release. Now is the time to hold yourself to your word and release it, letting the vacuum do its job. As a matter of fact, as I count down from 10 to 1, by the time I get to 1, the vacuum has literally sucked up every negative, low frequency, energy, emotion, feeling, sensation that is connected to it. The memories, the sounds, the thoughts, the beliefs. And everything in your subconscious happens quicker and faster than your conscious mind. So this may even happen without you even realizing it's happening. That's how magical you are. And your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real or vividly imagined. So allow yourself to vividly imagine this happening for yourself now. 10, releasing. 9, you got this. 8, let it go. Let it go. 7, that's right. Feel it releasing. Notice the shifts in your body. 6, 5, releasing now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping your eyes closed. Let it go. Let it go. All into the vacuum. And as you let it all go into the vacuum, you now get to release the vacuum. Put it somewhere where it can never return and can be transmuted to love and light. Whether it's the ocean, the earth, the universe, the cosmos, wherever you decide, just far, far, far away. Notice it going away. Notice it leaving. Giving yourself permission, maybe even a little forgiveness to yourself or those parties that created that. With the I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Letting it go now. Releasing it to where it's no longer in your awareness. You no longer feel it, see it, or sense it. The vacuum is completely gone now. And as you released it, above you is already the magical energy that you have been calling in these last few days. And in this magical ball of energy has all of the emotions, the things that you desire, the things that you want, and it's coming down through the top of your head. Allow it to come down through the top of your head, and as it connects with you, just begin to feel it. And as it comes down through the top of your head and you allow it in now, it is releasing any residual of that old emotions. And as you bring in this magical feeling and it comes down through your top of your head and begins to create, or begins to flow through you, allowing yourself to feel the sensations, to notice the thoughts that come in with this magic feeling, to hear the sounds of this magic feeling, and it comes down through your head and it pours down easily and gracefully down through your head, through your neck and your shoulders, your arms, your fingers, down through your chest and your upper back, allowing the magical feeling to continue to flow down through your midsection, your lower back, lower belly, your hips, your pelvic area, all the way down through your legs, through your feet, actually connecting with the earth, and then bounces back up with the tripling, the intensity, the sensation of these good feeling thoughts. Double the intensity as it rises back up through you. And as you allow yourself to feel the intensity, to connect with this magical energy, begin to notice your thoughts. Begin to notice the possibilities that come your way, your dreams, your desires, the things that you love, that you weren't aware of, or maybe forgotten about. And as this magical feeling increases, notice the other feelings that it brings. Maybe a sense of security, abundance, certainty, love, confidence, brilliance. And as you allow yourself to expand in this field, what's possible for you? What changes with your energy, your vitality, your health, your well-being? Just take a moment, feel the gratitude of this life, this choice. And as you allow yourself to come back now, take a fresh piece of paper and just write down the new feelings, the new thoughts, the new beliefs, the new stories, the new possibilities that came to you. Drop in the chat so I can see what's the new experience that you have, the new feelings or the new thoughts. Let me read some. Calm, beautiful. Strength, peace, clarity. Awesome. Possibility, hope, connection, fun, excitement, enjoyment, bright. Body felt changes. Awesome. Your cat felt the energy. Woohoo, won't leave you alone. Love it. I feel a little buzzy, like there is a new energy within me. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. You guys rock. Unlimited possibilities. Woohoo. Woohoo, happiness, joy, abundance. Is it possible to see the chakra colors? Absolutely, 100%. You feel exhausted through the release? Sometimes that happens, Belinda. When you release a lot, you can feel exhausted. Lighter, peaceful, less closed. Awesome, sleepy. Chanita, how's your belly? Better? Awesome. I got the thumbs up. Okay, so here's what you did. You just released. You just let yourself release. You let yourself tap into your potential. And so what I want to share with you is a resource for when the coping mechanism wants to come back. I'm so glad to hear that, Jackie. So what happens is you have a release. We already talked about the ego wants to bring you back. So the very first second you recognize the old behavior coming back, this is your new behavior, right? The new energy you're in today, right now. Anytime you notice the old behavior, anytime you want to take a nap, you want to isolate, you want to buy something, you want to do whatever your coping mechanism. That's awesome, Shanita. And so whatever your coping mechanism is, whenever the other low frequency feeling wants to come back in, you're going to do what's called a pattern interrupt. So what we just did is we created a new neural pathway. Right now, you created a new association, a new thought pattern, a new feeling within your body. And so we get to thicken that feeling by practicing being there, right? So the pattern interrupt will stop you from going into the old direction, and then you just get to declare what you felt now. Calm, peace, light, you know, changed, whatever the things that you wrote down, right? So a pattern interrupt gets to be silly. It gets to have a sound and a movement to it. And it could be anything. It just is something that's going to get you out of that old thought. So think about it. We created a new thought. 30 years ago, you created that thought that created that belly, that feeling in your body. So that neuroplasticity, sorry, thickened. And so now that thought is like this. We created a new one, right? It's like paper thin, right? So we shook this one up. We jumbled it up to create a new thought, and that's what you did, a new feeling. But we want to strengthen that. So your pattern interrupt gets to be something silly and fun and outrageous, so that when you want to do something that's the old version of you, you have this tool to shift your energy and say, nope, I decided, I'm calm, I'm centered, whatever the new energy is. All right. So I'll give you some examples. It could be wiggle wiggle woo. It could be bananas. It could be I had one client that could not think of anything, so I gave one to her. Hairy peanuts. I said peanuts. Okay, girls? Peanuts. Hairy peanuts. So it could be anything, that, right? Because that all brought you somewhere else, did it not? So it took you out of the thought pattern that you were in, right? You could say squirrel, right? Anything. You could use something physical. You can throw water up, but that can kind of make a mess, and you might not always have a water available. So I'm going to ask you right now, what is it that you want your pattern interrupt to be? It gets to be a sound, either a word or a sound, and something moving, right? We want to use our body. We don't want to just make it a mental thing. So I've had people do Farquaad, I think was from Harry Potter, something like that. They would just say Farquaad, or I think Sherry, I don't see her still on tonight, but she would do chocolate bunnies. She would say chocolate bunnies. It just something that's silly, anything. So, it's from Shrek. Thank you, Farquaad. You're right, Shrek. So what is yours? What is the thing that you want to use? Decide. Decide. Play full out. Give it your all. Make it. Take it. You're going to say penis. You got too many boys in your house. They're going to just laugh. They're just going to... Penis is all the time, is it not? Belly drum. Oh, I like it. Yes. I can't get hairy peanuts out of my head, so you're going to use that one. Hairy peanuts, sorry. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. All right, so whatever yours is going to be. It could be chocolate chip bowling ball. Thunder, lightning. I love it. Shake my head and say, ooga booga. Yes, butterflies. As long as butterflies will get you out of your... When we have a pattern that's so ingrained, it becomes like trance. You just do it. It's such a habit. So this is to give you a tool to get you out. Fudge sticks. Okay. All right, you guys got it. Everybody got one? Give me a thumbs up in the camera because I can see everybody, and I know Monique just did it. Yeah? All right, awesome. So, you're good to go. So close your eyes for a moment. And tomorrow comes and you're feeling great. You got this new energy in. And then the next day happens. You're still feeling good. Day 3, you're like, oh, you want to go to your coping mechanism. Now use your tool. Use your tool. And then declare what your new truth. Awesome. Awesome. So here's what happens. I know that this work seems silly. I know that this can seem like, how does this really work, Brenda? I've been doing this work for over almost a decade. If I include my self-work, it's been a decade. These little tiny tools build up to make monumental changes in your life. That tool that I just gave you, if you used it to break any pattern that you want to break, and once you break the pattern, declare what you want, you can change your life with that tool. It's the consistency. It's using the tools. You know, I think people, Jackie, I think people say 30 days, 90 days. For me and what I see, I think women need about 6 months to really develop a new habit, to really ingrain it in their body, to make it not just something they do, but a lifestyle. You know, you can create a new habit, but from my experience and working with women for almost a decade, it's about 6 months is where people really own their new behaviors. It takes about 3 months to create them and work on them, and then the next 3 months to solidify them. That's been my experience. Okay, so, you know, I share this stuff with you, and it reminds me of one of the women that I used to work with, still work with her occasionally. Her name's Joni. She was so skeptical. She was angry. She was actually grieving the loss of her son. She was beating herself up, and she's like, how can this work? She actually became one of my biggest manifestors ever. She manifested a job that paid her the most money she's ever made in her life, and she swore because of her age she could not get a teaching job. She's like, I'm too old to be hired as a teacher. So she implemented these little things. She moved to Florida, what she wanted to do. She got the highest paid teaching job in the district. So these little tiny things that we've been doing add up. She's standing in her power, and she's living her best life. So you can be skeptical. I don't care. I actually love skeptical people. That means you're actually thinking about it. You're actually wanting to do something different. In fact, they're one of my favorite peoples to work with. But skeptical but open, right? There's nothing wrong with questioning and being curious, but stay open to the process. So your growth work today. Oh, I forgot to do this one part. I'm just gonna give you one assignment for your growth work. Your growth work today is to notice when the old pattern wants to come in and do your pattern interrupt. And I have to do the second part, girls. I need about five more minutes with you, okay? So you can share that in the Facebook that you did it. You can share an image of you using your pattern interrupt. You can get as fun, as creative as you want. You can make a sign holding it, whatever you want. Like, just be creative and let your fun out, right? And the second thing is, we want to give this magic feeling a sound and a movement. So everybody stand up. It's literally 30 seconds. It's going to be super fast. Okay. So emotions like sound, they like movement, they like embodiment, right? So we don't want it just to be a logical thing, and what we did in the process was an energetic thing, right? Like, we imagine the energy coming in. So we want to actually embody it, and we want to and bring sound to it. So we're going to create what I call your magical movement sound. And your magical movement sound gets to be anything you want. This is different than the pattern interrupt, right? This is to remember the magical energy that you just brought in. So it's going to have a sound, it's going to have a movement, and it could be a big breath in, right? Like, that might be what you need for calm. Like, it doesn't matter. But so close your eyes. And just imagine now that energy ball, that magical energy that you declared is yours. And when I count down from 5 to 1, by the time I get to 1, you're just going to let the energy make a sound and a movement. You're not going to think about it. It might not even be a sound that you recognize. It might be a word. It might be something completely different. You'll be surprised at what your body does when you just let go and allow. So when I get to 1, you're going to let the sound and movement of your energy, magical energy out. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? Repeat. Ready? Repeat. Awesome. So tomorrow and every day further, you can sit down with that. I love it. You guys are amazing. I just want to say, you guys rock so much. I can feel your commitment to the life and dreams that you truly want. I love it. You're making my heart feel so full right now. So thank you for playing full out. So tomorrow and even tonight, your job is to do your magic feeling 3 times, at least 3 times. Because what is that going to do? That's going to bring that energy in. That's going to take the skinny new thought pattern and start to build on it, right? Thank you, Lynn. Right? So 1, you're going to post your pattern interrupt. 2, you're going to post a picture or share somehow that you used your magical sound and movement. You're going to do that. You don't have to post it 3 times, just once, but your homework is to do it 3 times. Okay? All right, so to close out tonight, I usually do this at 7:30, so I keep forgetting that it's earlier in the day. So to close tonight out, I want you to know that tomorrow is a class called Rediscover Your True Story. So you're going to actually take some chains off your heart, continue to do some emotional release. We're going to step into the version of you that creates your dreams. We're going to feel her. We're going to see her. We're going to experience her. And you're going to be able to be in that energy and decide and make decisions from there. Remember I said yesterday, how do you get there? Well, right now we've been releasing the layers, and we're going to continue so that you can actually step in and see some of her potential. Even more, right? You already are seeing her potential. You're already starting to feel her, the goddess within you, right? So we're going to continue to climb up the ladder. So come back tomorrow at 4:30. I have a special offer for you tomorrow too. So come back tomorrow, some freebies. So come back in. And then also, if you feel like this would benefit one of your friends, it's not too late to bring them. Bring a friend. All right? Until then, ladies, go post in the Facebook group. I'll see all the VIP people here. If you're my client, you're welcome to stay for the VIP. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.